Hello YouTube world, Johnny Moe here, outside working on the plows, getting them ready for a snowstorm that's about to come through. I wanted to do a quick video on how to prepare for a storm. What I like to do is I like to come outside right before the storm, and I like to go over everything, make sure the lines aren't leaking, make sure everything looks good, nothing's broken, you know, everything looks like it should be where it should be. I get in the truck, I raise the plow, turn it left, turn it right, check the hoses again, drop the plow, come back here. I like to check out the salt spreader, make sure the lights are working, make sure it's spinning, make sure the vibrator that is attached is vibrating. And the reason is, guys, is because what happens is when you are in the middle of a storm, or you're getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go out and get these commercial places opened up, you don't want to just find out at 2 o'clock in the morning that something's not working because it's freezing, it's cold. You want to do it when it's convenient, when it's light out, when you have a space where you can work. You're freezing in the morning, it's dark out, you're trying to find out which wire or which motor's blown out, which hose, and all of that. Not to say that it's still not going to happen when you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but just to know right off the bat, hey, listen, this thing is working properly and everything's going good. So what I want to do is I'm going to try it out. Let's flip on the vibrator. It's vibrating. Here's the switches. Let's go back. Let's turn the lights on. Let's see if it's running. I hear it running back here. There she goes. The lights are working. Vibrator was vibrating and the spinner is spinning. Cool. All right, my friends, we are ready for the storm. So again, just some little tips if you're going to get into plowing. You want to make sure that your stuff's operating properly. You want to make sure that before you pull out in the morning that everything's good to go. Now, I was over here earlier. I just hooked this plow back up. This is my backup plow. This is a Snow Dog. It's a good plow. It's a heavy plow. I would highly suggest it. A Western, Fisher. You know, guys, you can get any kind of plow you want to put on the truck. But here's some things I will say about putting a plow on the truck. Make sure your truck can handle it, number one. You know, if you got an F-150 or a GMC 1500 or Silverado 1500, make sure that you get the plow that it can be handled. I don't suggest plowing with those trucks too often because just too small, and the storms sometimes can get ahead of you, and then you get behind because the truck and plow can't handle the storms. So my suggestion is getting something between 650 and 800 pounds off the front end of your truck. This plow here weighs about 700 pounds and some change. It's on a 2500 HD, and highly suggest that's where I would go. When you're getting a plow, make sure you get at least 4 springs. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want something that can handle pushing some snow. You don't want no dinky 2-springer and then all of a sudden it drops 7 inches, 8 inches, and it gets wet on you and you can't push it because the plow's consistently tripping over, stopping your truck, and then you're screwed. So this is my backup plow. Let me show you what I'm using for my full-time plow. This is a Snowway 29 HD. This is my main plow. It's a very good plow. It has wings on it. Tip number 2. If you're going to get a plow, make sure it's 8 foot and then get some wings to put on it. Wings are the way to go. You can move more snow, clean more lots, and go faster. Some downfalls to this plow, though. Remember what I just told you over there? Don't buy anything with less than 4 springs. Well, when I bought this truck, this plow came with it. It's about a $6,500 plow, and it has 2 springs. So what happens is, when the snow gets up there, guess what happens? It starts tripping. So I try not to do any snow plowing above 8 inches, especially when it's wet. If I have to, I'll come home and get that truck over there. This will push it. I just had them turn the springs the whole way up. It's a little bit better, but what happens is this mold board flips all the way down there, and then it just basically stops the truck. in its path. Some things I do like about this Snowway plow is down pressure. I can push a button in the truck on my remote control and it'll put 250 pounds of down pressure. What that means is I can back drag further than I could with, say, that Snow Dog plow over there. So these are just some tips on plowing, making sure when you're buying a plow, make sure it's a heavy plow, because what you want when you drop that plow and it slams down, you want to make sure that it busts through that ice and it's pushing right down to the pavement. This here, all I have to do is drop it, push the down pressure, and it'll get right onto the cement. I like that plow in that aspect. I don't like the remote control. Right in here, guys, there's a motherboard. It's actually a little computer, and that's where the receiver's connected to the remote control. And sometimes that goes bad. That's about $600-700 part right there. I'm not too sold on it. I replaced it once, but it is what it is. You're snow plowing, you're going to have some breakdowns, especially when you're dealing with below zero weather and you're out in the cold. Okay, so far as spreaders go, this is my first spreader, Snow EX Mini Pro 575. I don't lay that much salt down in any given application, so I highly recommend the Snow EX. They are more expensive, but this thing has been put through the ringer. I've had it 5 years now, and when I say I put tons and tons and tons of salt through it and done nothing to it, I mean it. Literally, season after season after season, this thing just has been a machine. You know, if you're going to run bulk salt, you're going to want to put a vibrator on it. So what you'll do, let me show you inside here. You'll put a plate in there. You can see where the bolts are. On the back side of that is a vibrator. So what happens is it vibrates this container, and what happens is it lets it vibrates the salt, shakes the salt around. That way it can continue to flow down through, because with bulk salt, it kind of cakes up in there and it binds up, and it doesn't let it flow like a regular bag salt would just flow right through. You don't need to use your vibrator for that. But if you're going to use this, see, this is like cake. You can almost make a snowball out of it. This is bulk salt. It's treated bulk salt, so it's even got a little bit of wetness to it. So there's some tips for plowing if you think about getting into it. You know, come out before the storm hits, make sure everything's running properly. You know, I just seen a video with another guy talking about these little markers right here. He said some guy mistake these for antennas in a parking lot. That's how people know not to come near your plow. I thought that was hysterical. So these are markers, so you know exactly where you're going, how close you can get to buildings and stuff of that nature. That was funny, man. Shout out to Jeremy over there at Small Business. That was funny. When he started talking about that, I almost fell on the floor laughing. I was laughing so hard. But those are some tips on plowing. If you're going to plow commercially, I will say this: you're going to need 2 trucks. You cannot afford